environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
Boom. Now that I have your attention, I can get in your face. In your face, I said. Wednesday, live. Sports Talk, one-on-one, DP. Block running the board, keeping the mothership moving. Appreciate you hanging out with me for this hour. Got a pretty special hour. Again, rules of the game. We honor the Gump family rules. One-on-one, you're never quite sure what you're going to get. We could go down a rabbit hole. We could end up in football talk. We could end up in tennis talk. We could end up in marketing and life goals and missions and relationships. Who knows? It's a good one. The Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. You want to be a part of what we're doing? Hit me with the what's up, and I will bring you into the show. Great cause to do so. You can follow on all the streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961. You can follow, and you should follow us on social media. You should also download the Ticket app so that you can take us wherever you go. We will be. Simple biz, if you will. Amazon Prime, if you're fancy. In full. Often you get to bring in folks who have insight and insider access to Husker programs and sports in general. And in order to do that, you have to reach out. Go to the source. Like I could speculate, or I can bring in somebody that actually knows. Let's bring in Husker head coach for men's tennis, Peter Kobelt. Brother, how you doing, man?
DP, I see you got your tennis shoes on today.
Sir! Sir!
You guys want to know what shows happening today? Just look at DP's shoes.
Hey, man. No, look, these are getting the work.
Good.
These are getting the work. I love these.
Nice.
I love these. Coach came through. Came through. Bach, once again, you have to tell Coach what size shoes you wear, because, I don't often remember those things. Bach, what size shoes do you wear?
11 and a half.
So you're doable, because 11 and a half is still in the range of normal humans.
Normal humans.
Us Bigfoot. What, Pete, what's that?
You got me. I got 13s.
See, these 14s make it tough to shop, bro.
Yeah.
It just, but you came through. Coach came through. And listen, my wife is very grateful. She's very grateful that She's like, yay! We have another ally. We have a shoe ally. This is the good stuff. And these are spectacular. What's the difference in these and the others? Because you said these are the actual tennis.
Well, yeah, the other ones would just be like normal joggers or walking around shoes. They say running shoes, but you'd want to just run in a straight line. Tennis shoes are more side to side and for comfort. The dirt, running around, sliding, moving.
So my bounce.
Bouncing, banging on the court and stuff like that. So those will treat you well.
This is, I mean, again, and I've got pins and needles and all these screw plates. I got plates in all the toes and at the base of these. I have abused these dogs of mine, Coach. I have abused them. So whatever love we can get by putting shoes on. And here's the thing, and why I'm in love with these. Actually, these and the red stripe or the red blur ones, is that when I wear them for, often I'll come here and I'll be here back and forth for 14 hours in a day.
Sure.
And today my feet don't hurt. That was listen.
Let's go.
I'm forever indebted. I'm forever indebted.
Let's go.
For not having sore feet. Greatly appreciated. Your young men are out here in the streets putting in tennis work, man. I see a post and wait a minute, you got guys winning matches, important matches on the road. Like this is the time of year where they get to grow as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going on with your guys? Let them know what the Huskers are doing.
Yeah. So I just created the group chat for the team this year, just before the show started. But the guys are starting to find their way back to Lincoln. We had a tournament here in town last week, partnered with UTR, and we were able to have two of our guys come back, and I was able to watch them play, which was great. Just kind of wrapping up some of the summer things. There's a big tournament for the junior tennis world coming up, Kalamazoo, which is the biggest boys national tournament here in the States. So that's a cool and fun recruiting opportunity for all the coaches in college tennis, not just us at Nebraska. But yeah, before you know it, school's gonna be starting. Yeah, we're gonna have 4 new guys in the team, maybe a 5th later on in the year. We'll see. But yeah, exciting times for sure.
Through all of it, right? What is the official be back in town date for Husker tennis?
Well, we try and have them come back a week ahead of time. We try and respect, especially international guys that fly here from all over the world. We try and make sure that they recharge their batteries and when they go home. Obviously, they're still playing and training and lifting and stuff like that. But we don't require them to be here all year. I don't think we're allowed to do that anyway. But we asked them to come back a little bit early. There's some check-in things they got to do with so they're ready to practice the first day of school. So I have them come back a little bit early, get them reacclimated to the time zone and in Nebraska, and then back to work, baby.
So where give me the roll call of places, countries, states that your athletes are returning from, because they're all over the place.
Yeah, we have a new addition, a new country, Australia. One of our new recruits is from Australia. Another new country, the Netherlands. Niels is from the Netherlands, and then Yuri from Finland. We had a Finnish boy on our team last year, Ronnie. So we're subbing out one and adding another. And then Spain, Argentina, Russia, 2 boys from the United States. So yeah, we're kind of from all over. So we just signed a guy yesterday. We're allowed to talk about it now. His name's Matt Shearer from New Zealand. So we lost a New Zealand boy, Kiwi boy last year, adding another one this year. So we're excited about him too. He'll come in January, and the team's starting to round out.
It's just fascinating because we talk about recruiting. For the big revenue sports, we talk about recruiting just in full. It's a constant 24-hour a day, 7-day a week, 52 weeks of conversation. And for tennis, it's got to be a different level of strain and stress because they're not local. This is not easy to get to. If you're going to Australia, you're trying to recruit, you're trying to do it digitally.
Well, you do as much as you can that way, and then so you don't, if you go and spend the money on the ticket or on a plane ticket, you're going to see the right person, or you hope it's the right person. So we do a lot of legwork on the front end, and then obviously you got to go there and see them. But tennis is unique in the sense that the best players in the world, didn't play college tennis, and you don't have to play college tennis to be the best tennis player in the world. So you got to first recruit them to play college tennis, and then once you do that, now you open up the floodgate of all the other college coaches and that are doing this at a really high level. So it can be tricky to get them to end up here in Nebraska. But I think if you do the thing, it's still a relationship based game, and NIL and things like that are still relevant in tennis. But making sure that you can help them with their tennis and grow as a young man, and come into a school like Nebraska where we have everything, and this is as big time of a university as there is, not just in all the other sports, but also in tennis. That's the mentality that we have. I think is attractive for a lot of recruits too. So
what part of the pitch is them being parents and players being able to trust you and trust Nebraska and trust Lincoln, right? You're going to send your kids all over the world. That's got to be a big part of the pitch.
Well, I don't know what you guys think, but I still think I'm like a kid half the time. I walk around half the day, like, acting like a kid in my own mind, at least.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's got to be a full circle approach. Obviously, the families and the players have to trust me ultimately, but I think once they come here and they sit down with, Alyssa that does all of our academics, Keith Zimmer with life skills. I think the parents fall in love with Keith and the life skill program. I think that's a huge asset to a sport like tennis, knowing that you're going to get more than just a degree and improve your tennis. You're also going to work on a resume, and if you want to do a job interview or some kind of internship, like all those things are doable while you're here. So I think that program, the life skills program's an amazing one that we have. And then just being involved with the community, maybe having the chance to come down here and hop on a radio show or meeting all the tennis fans going down the woods or Genesis and getting to meet some of the local tennis people here. And then the state of Nebraska. I mean, obviously it's a sport that's dominated by football and also volleyball and I would assume baseball's up there, baseball, softball are up there. But the tennis, there's a strong tennis community here. It's not the biggest, but
you're passionate. They show up.
Absolutely. They're showing up. They showed up even more last year, and we would expect them to keep coming for years to come. So
with Husker tennis coach Peter Kobelt, and I think it happens in other sports, where if there's an athlete of some skill and an accomplishment before they get here, in the recruiting world, and I'm sure all the parents listening will go through this, that if a young person is being recruited, and the first time they're brought to Nebraska, in other sports, a question is always offered, and it makes me pound my head against the desk because they will ask, well, who else is recruiting? Who else is offered? What are your thoughts on that? Why is that necessary or not necessary?
I think you get into that game when you're not really sure of what you're looking for. I think if you're really secure and you really understand what your team needs to look like, and I think some of that's a little bit of a beauty pageant where, okay, like if this guy's really good, but he's only being recruited by these schools that we think we're better than, like,
what do they know that we don't know?
Right. And why is there no other bigger, so I think that maybe gets in the way a little bit, but I think if you see a prospect out there and they're checking off every single box on your recruiting list, and we've been over the 5 things that we look at really closely here, then we go, so we try not to look into what other schools are looking at, because I don't think they're looking at recruits the same way we are. I think there's a little bit of you have to always understand what your opponents are doing, the other programs are doing. I think that's one part of all of this, but I think you have to be really clear in your vision for what you're trying to do with your program, the players that you're trying to recruit, and hopefully, you're doing it the right way. So
yeah, I never understood the idea of going, yeah, that looks like a Nebraska tennis player, but nobody else wants him. So why? No, if you know what you want,
yeah,
you know what you're looking for, it makes it much easier to recruit.
Sure. And I think at the end of this, BP, I'm still a young head coach, and I still have a lot to learn, but I want to look in 2 or 3 years, I want to look back and say, hey, like these steps that we took as a program or what I truly believed in. And in the next 2 or 3 years, I want to be able to say, okay, this is, I bought in 100% to my vision for the program. My staff bought in 100%. Our guys bought in 100%. Now we can actually make some adjustments if we need to, or if we're doing it a damn good job, then let's keep the pedal to the metal. But so I think it gives you a way to adapt and adjust if you need to, because you truly gave 100% and you did it 100% the way you wanted to do it. And now you can adjust accordingly.
A lot of Husker Nation conversation when it comes to athletics is NIL. Has the changes, has the adjustments, has it landed yet? Is the revenue share a part of how you do business now, or is it business as usual?
Well, I think I don't think tennis will be involved at the revenue sharing, which isn't, I don't think, a shock to too many.
But I think it needs to be said, because people will have the belief that,
it's reserved for mostly the programs that generate revenue, and there's and that's just the way it is. So that's totally fine with us. The school is, Mr. Dannon, Troy, he's very supportive of all the programs, not just the ones that generate revenue. Obviously, we've finished 21st in the Directors Cup this year, and every sport is involved with those rankings. To generate those rankings, every sport has to have success, and Troy definitely cares about that. That's one of his biggest goals every year. But yeah, I think we had an idea maybe 2 weeks ago what that looks like, and then I think the president got involved, and now he came out with some kind of document maybe a week ago that maybe changed things one more time. I don't know. I think we're all going to meet. All the head coaches will meet before school starts, and Mr. Dannon will update us where everything's at. But it's a fluid thing. We're all trying to figure it out still. Every university's trying to figure it out still. I don't think anyone knows exactly what's going on still in terms of, here's what the blueprint is. This is what you guys need to do. But to have a leader like Mr. Dannon running the show, I know that he's going to position all the sports here at Nebraska in a way that we can all be successful for years to come, not just this year, but also in 5 or 10 years down the road. So
you mentioned the overall, finishing 21st amongst all the major programs in the country when it comes to success and otherwise. But I mean, I don't want to bury the lead. Men's tennis is as good as it's ever been. What was the rating for Nebraska men's tennis at the end of the year?
Yeah, we finished 39th in the country and 5th in the Big Ten. I thought we could have maybe finished 4th in the Big Ten. That one bugged me a little bit. We lost 2 really close matches to a really good Washington team that I thought we could have won both of them, and we ended up losing both. So that's also Mr. Dannon's alma mater, or not. He came here from Washington, so we were trying to get that one. That was one of the ones that we really wanted to get for him. We weren't able to. Sorry, Troy. But yeah, I mean, I think the Big Ten is as competitive of a conference in the tennis world as it's ever been. Adding USC and UCLA, those are 2 historical tennis programs. And Oregon, obviously, you don't need to talk too much about Oregon. Everyone knows Oregon, and Washington, obviously, too. Those are 4 of the premier teams that came from the Pac-12. So to finish 5th in the Big Ten, I think is a really big deal. Obviously, that's not why I got into coaching, to finish 5th for too much longer. We're trying to move up the ratings. We're trying to win Big Ten titles here, and I think if you can win a Big Ten title, you can compete for a national title year in and year out. So that's our focus. How are we going to get this year's team to 4th, 3rd, 4th, 2nd-ish area? How can we keep leveling up the program? Our goal is to win the Big Ten every year, and that's what we're working towards. So
I love that you said that, because that was going to be the next question, is what's the ceiling for legitimate? Like, what's the ceiling for Nebraska tennis on the Big Ten level? That there is a way. It may not be easy, but there's a way for Nebraska to move up. Again,
sure.
Finishing 5th, should have been 4th, 2nd and 3rd. You're within reach, because you were within service aces of knocking off some of those programs.
Yep.
So is it a true statement that the authentic ceiling for Nebraska in the next couple of years at some point is becoming a Big Ten champion?
100%. Why would it not be? There's absolutely no reason for it not to be.
Well, I love that you say that. Like, I love that you say that. And I know that you mean it. there are programs on some of the conversations that we have on this station. Sometimes you can ask people
Sure.
whether whether the program really has a legitimate chance to be one as good as they can be, whatever that is, and is that Big Ten championship? Because there's some programs that even if they're at their best, they may not be Big Ten championship good because it's just a meat grind, like it just is. Well, the same is true for men's tennis.
Sure.
Big Ten men's tennis, it's a meat grinder. Who's the North Star that, like, when you try to target this thing and go, this is who we need to get to be the best in the Big Ten? Who would that be?
Yeah, I hate to say it because it's not my alma mater and my former head coach, but the Ohio State Buckeyes are
Get 43 out there.
They're the program that has basically ran the Big Ten for the last 20 years or so. I think they've won the Big Ten regular season 18 years in a row, and they've won the Big Ten tournament, I don't know, 16 of those 18 years. So they've really had a wave of dominance, which I was a part of, which I think being a part of that and seeing how things were run there, and then going to Kentucky and learning how things were done there in a totally different conference, and also having success, coming here and seeing all the resources that we have, seeing the support that we have from not just the athletic department, but also the community. I don't know. I just see it and I'm like, okay, we can do this here. Things can be done here.
What's the difference between Big Ten and SEC tennis?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously the SEC's you're in the southern part of the country, so you're playing a little bit more outdoor tennis than indoor tennis. Big Ten's a little bit more indoor tennis than outdoor tennis. So that's probably the biggest difference from the public standpoint of view. But the SEC was very, very competitive. The teams, there was teams that finished with 1 or 2 wins in the SEC, but they were really good teams. So every match every match you played in the SEC conference was like, we were at Kentucky, we were undefeated in the SEC, and we were playing Vanderbilt with 0 wins, and we beat them 4-3. So that's just kind of the gauntlet that you went through in the SEC. I think that's where the Big Ten is starting to shift. I think that before the expansion, I think it wasn't looked, the conference wasn't viewed in that light, but now adding these 4 teams, it's becoming a gauntlet, just like the SEC is. And I think that's going to make, things more attractive for recruits as we continue to move up in the rankings, hopefully, and compete for some of these bigger trophies at the end of the year.
Well, Coach, we pay attention to the pressers, training camp for Husker football, and the things that Matt Rule and the players are talking about.
Sure.
So we're going to grab some clips, and I'm going to ask you your immediate, honest, authentic reaction to some of these, because in some of the cases, right, coach speak has its place, but then there are times when the coach really wants to deliver a message.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you to decode.
All right, we'll see.
We're going to ask you to decode Peter Kobelt, men's tennis, here on 101. We'll be right back.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say It's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through July at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in 1.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 5.8 fixed for another 36 months. When planning for this year's harvest, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your Landmark Implement today and check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Need service on your home air conditioner? Call the company Lincoln has counted on since 1952. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. No matter what brand you have, when you need service, you want Bryant's experienced pros working for you. Friendly, NATE certified technicians with the tools, training, and technology to restore your comfort quickly. No matter what brand, when you need service, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
When only the best will do. Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I think this thing needs to happen. This idea keeps obsessing me that at some point some fan or some Husker tennis player paints his face like the Ultimate Warrior and plays a match. Just goes all the way. I don't know. Coach is like, no, DP, don't do that.
I was going to say, put that out in the universe.
Peter Kobelt, Huskers tennis, joins us in studio one-on-one. And it's the thing that as a coach in the program, a program leader, as a former athlete, that you understand when people start talking to the media. One, it's a necessary, air quotes, evil, because people will take from it what they want to take from it. But the idea, it is your chance as a coach to get in front of the media and kind of set the table. Sometimes it's setting a North Star. Sometimes it's redirecting. Sometimes it's rebranding. Sometimes it's planting the seed to say, this is the thing you need to be looking at, or this is the thing I want you to look at. So football camp starts, and the media days are there, and I'm a part of it. So you stand in the pool, and I try not to ask questions in that space because, quite frankly, I've got different curiosities than a lot of the reporters who have to write beat stuff.
Sure.
I look at it from the coaching standpoint, not from the media standpoint. What are you telling me? And if I said that, what it would mean. So, Bob, if you would please, can you give Coach Kobelt a little Coach Matt Rule?
Yeah, this is Matt Rule with we're talking about having a player-led team.
Yeah. Yeah. So when they say player-led, I think it's not like they're saying like, hey, I think we should practice there or not. Like I think it's really important to say that. It's what player-led means is like, hey, we have a process that we follow. It's not the schedule. Just process for us means like, hey, we're going to attack everything that we can control and hope that helps us have good win outcomes. And then there's standards in the program. Like, hey, I expect you to do this. I expect you to do this. And what happens to all of us is like, we do the standard until we're tired of doing it or it's hard or something we don't think, well, why am I doing this? And what we want is we want players who enforce the standards. They're like, no, this is what we do. And in today's world, players love to lead through performance. They like to diffuse leadership. Like, hey, we all kind of come together. And there's not a lot of like, hey, I'm going to come up to you and say this. And so in year 3, what you hope is that they're like, hey, I want to win. I'm tired of losing. It's not all this other stuff. It's all of us doing the right thing every day. And so it's who's going to be willing to tell someone that they care about or another great player, hey, stop doing that. That's not what we do. Let's do this. Or, hey, I need you to do this. And so when they're willing to have hard conversations with each other, when they're willing to hold each other accountable, that's player leadership. And not when things are easy, but when things are hard. I gave the example to them. I don't mind saying it to you guys. Like, it was 13-6 last year against Ohio State. We were losing at halftime, and it was like a revival in our locker room. They were so excited. They were like, freaking, Johnny just made that kick, and they're like, we're going to come back and win this game. And we almost did. And then the next week, it was 13-7 against UCLA, and we run off the field. People are booing, which we get, right? And we're in the locker room, and it was like literally like, I was up there like, I was praying, not really praying, but I was like trying to like, come on, guys. And I'm just sad. Gosh, what's happening to us? And nothing happens to you in football. Like, you take control of it and you run with it, right? So it's like, but I think looking back, they're like, well, why were they different? Well, because we're listening to everything else instead of just what's our standard. No matter what the score is, we keep playing, we find a way. And you know what's crazy about that game? It was then 20-7, and it was then 27-7, and then we came back. We had a ball with 2 minutes. Heinrich came out there, and we had a chance to go tie the game to win it. So it's like, but you have to sometimes go through those things to learn, like, just keep playing. And that's, I can say that till I'm blue in the face. Players don't listen to coaches. They listen to each other. Okay. And at the end of the day, like, they listen to each other. They hear me 20 minutes a day. They hear you guys a lot on social media. They listen to fans on social media, and they hear each other. So it's like, man, you guys have got to do a great job of saying, like, hey, guys, keep playing, keep playing, keep playing. So I like where we're at in that regard. Let me say that. I like where we're at. I mean, they're doing it. Just can we do it? Continue to do it at a higher and higher and higher level.
Coach Kobelt, what's your reaction and response to that?
Well, first of all, I think we're really lucky to have a head coach like Coach Rule, not just from all of experience, but his willingness to be so open to the media. Not every coach is like that. So I think he's very secure and confident with what he's trying to do and his method and his coaching staff. And so I think he's more willing to talk and open and share everything. So I think he's very, he when he speaks, he's being very genuine, and he's trying to give you as much information as he thinks he should. And so I would just start by that. But yeah, I think he's right. I think, there's the quote that says, when there's no leadership, you have a bad team. When the team's led by the coaches, you have a good team. And when you have the players leading the program, you have a great team. So that's what he's been trying to do the last 2 years. Obviously, he spoke at the Big Ten Media Days. I try and watch a little bit of that too, because I learn a lot from Coach Rule just from how he speaks and how he handles everything. But he was like, yeah, when he first got here, it wasn't a great job, and he was having to be the leader. The coaching staff was having to be a leader, and I think they've been good the past 2 years, and I think he's actually really excited about this year's team. I can tell he feels way more excited about this year's team because there's a lot of that leadership being done outside of the coaching staff by his guys. So I think he's had some, this is third year, and I think when you refer to the Matt Rule, like year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 thing, I think it has a lot to do with this, meaning that he's got people that he's been around now for 2.5, 3 years that have bought into the program, that see the evolution of in the weight room, and just the whole 360 view of the program. They can see how things are changing, and there's real belief in that locker room, and I can feel it as a coach, and you get excited. Obviously, they still got to go out there and play and win. But yeah, I mean, in terms of are they getting better? Absolutely, are they getting better? So
You have some similarities in the duration, that time of it. Matt Rule, year 3, Peter Kobelt.
Sure.
You've gone through, and the rebranding. We talked about the rebranding that, quite frankly, you've reached a point where there's some people you don't want to lose to anymore.
Sure.
And that's a big part of the message. How difficult is it to change a program, a player or group of players' mental image of the program that they're responsible for? Like, to tell somebody, it's one thing for you to be a Division I tennis player. It's another thing for you to be a Big Ten champion caliber tennis player. Now it's, quite frankly, we just need to be the best us. How do you process that, and how do you get that into your people?
Yeah, I think you just do. It's a day by day thing. Every day you speak, you talk about it. You're all about it every single day. And I think that's coaches talk or whatever. It sounds cheesy, but I think if you want to change your habits, if you want to change who you are, if you want to create this image of we're the Big Ten champions, it starts by believing in it the one day, and then coming back the next day and believing in it again, and talking about it and believing in it again. And over time, it's who you become and who you are. So I think it takes time, and I think that's why I'm excited with football. This year is just Matt's had time now here, so he's had his chance to kind of get his hands on everything and to mold the program how he knows a successful program's supposed to look. And that's what we're trying to do with the tennis program too, is say, hey, like, we're going to take these guys that have bought into Nebraska, that love Nebraska, that fit our mold here, and we're going to make them believe, every single day that we're doing everything that we can to be Big Ten champs. And I truly believe that if it has to first come from me, the head coach, and then our staff has to believe it 100%. We have the right staff. I hope to God I'm the right head coach, but I believe I am. And then it's about, getting all 9 or 10 of our guys every day to come to practice and work like we're trying to win the Big Ten title today. I think that's an important thing. You can't win it. You can't win the Big Ten title until the end of the year, but you can work like you are every day.
Well, I think you can lose it in the offseason.
100%. Oh yeah,
you can lose it.
Yeah.
You may not be able to win it in July, but you can certainly lose it by habit.
Sure.
And happenstance. I think it's interesting, right? That to talk about and changing a program, changing the culture of a program. And you mentioned Matt Rule saying, well, the football program wasn't what it should be. Like, it may not be the best job. Well, the Nebraska tennis coaching job, maybe not on the list of sexy jobs, but you're turning it into a program. You're turning it into a culture. Like, that takes work, and you can't do that by accident.
Sure. No.
Like, you're making this a sexy job again, and the program is getting exposure for all the right reasons.
Well, I think it's important. There's things that we're in control of, and there's things that we're not in control of. So for me, it's important to be able to control the controllables, which is, how is our team practicing every day? Is there a good, is the team close? Can we, I believe if you have a really close team, you're going to have success because I think in the biggest moments when things are going bad, having a really tight team that cares and loves tennis, that loves Nebraska, you're going to be able to get them to come back, and the season's long and things happen. So I think that's super important. But I would also say, with the changes that are happening in college sports, and I think just Nebraska is very well positioned for the future. And those are things that aren't in my control, but I tend to see, I give the iceberg illusion. From the outside, it may not look like Nebraska is the best tennis coaching job in the country, at the tip of the iceberg. But if you go underwater, and the water, that's going to be, that part of the iceberg, I hope is eventually seen. But underneath the water, Nebraska's in a really good spot. There's a lot to be excited about for Nebraska tennis, in my opinion. So I'm quite fortunate to be in the position that I'm in. I think This is a diamond in a rough job. Looking at it now, I think there's no better place to be for the next, in the future, 5 or 10 years down the road. I think people are going to view this job a little bit differently, in my opinion. So,
Bach, do you have another clip for Coach Kobelt to speak
on? Sure. Here's what Coach Rule said he was looking for in the players during this period of time.
Yeah, it's a great question. We told the guys exactly what we want. It's a 6-day ramp-up acclimation period with a 7th day of rest. So, we want to obviously establish our standard of effort. We don't have a lot of time to coach effort. We have a good enough. One of the reasons why you don't have to coach is when you have a lot of depth, a lot of competition. If you don't want to play hard, then so be it. We want to reward the guys who know what they're doing. So assignment knowledge. So a lot of testing in the meetings, a lot of, hey, how much did you work, over the summer? How well do you know what you're supposed to do? We want to keep them healthy. Most injuries happen, most soft tissue injuries happen after the first week, beginning of the second week. So we're trying to ramp up and build up where we're not doing too much. And then we want to establish our practice standards, the way that we want to practice, everything from like the gear that we wear to when we get into contact, how to make contact with guys, how to hold the ball security to pre-snap penalties. So all the things that we can control, we're trying to teach this week and do. And then finally, situational football. Dana had them out there. They were doing 2 minutes, today on offense. We know the games are going to come down in the Big Ten to the last minute of the game. And so we're at a point now where we can really focus on the situational FBI. So that's several things, but some are football and some are just related to the standards.
Coach, what resonates?
Yeah, I mean, he said there was a lot of good points in there, but I think, I mean, what all did he talk about again? It was like, what they're trying to do right now at the beginning of the season. I mean, it's tough. He's got to manage, 120 dudes, and I don't know how many coaches that he has, but getting them ready. I feel like, they've been getting ready up until this point. Getting him ready is more like for him. I feel like at this point he knows a lot about his team right now. He likes what his team's doing right now. Now it's about getting him organized, doing some of these basic things that you need to do at this time of the year to get everyone on board. But I think he knows which guys are I like to say dogs, the ones that are going to do all the work, that love the game, that love Nebraska, that are studying all the film, that are doing things the right way. Maybe there's a few new guys that he's still, learning that about. But I would assume he has a pretty good idea by this time who's in 100% and who's in 99%. So I'm a big believer. If you're 99% in, you're not trying. You're either 100% or you're not. So once you take the toothpaste out of the tube, it ain't getting back in. So you're either 100% in or you're not. But I think Matt has a pretty good idea of what he's got. I think he's excited about what he's got, and I think Husker Nation should be excited about what he's got. Obviously, this is the Big Ten. In the Big 12, there's no Penn State, there's no Ohio State, there's none of these huge teams in the way. So I think it's going to take time for them to continue to push past all these teams ahead of them. They're all trying to stay there. So this isn't an easy thing that he's trying to do, that the football team's trying to do. So they're good. I truly believe deep down they're going to be better this year. Matt, I don't want to put any extra pressure on you, my man.
Pressure. Peer pressure.
From where I'm sitting, you're doing an unbelievable job. You got the entire athletic department's support, and we're excited to see what's coming this fall. So
I agree with you there. I'm excited about what's happening. And again, this is training camp week 1. Lots of oars to get into the water, but I think purpose and mission are intact. We'll go to break. We'll come back. I will close out with Coach, but a couple of things in play because we're going to go through the Husker football schedule. I'm just going to have Coach pick wins and losses.
Oh boy, here we go. Huskers are going undefeated.
There we go. Listen, I fully there. And then there's an announcement that involves men's tennis that we will share with you as well. Some good news within the Husker men's tennis program. Coach Peter Kobelt, DP, one-on-one. We'll be right back.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also, no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing your family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Rose Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text or call me at 402-525-0843. That's 402-525-0843.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, Apply today at nebco.com.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Final segment with Coach Peter Kobelt, Husker Tennis. We're going to take him through the gauntlet. We are. But first, we do want to celebrate some good news that, again, with the Big Ten Conference Outstanding Sportsmanship Awards, and a male and female athlete from every university in the Big Ten gets named, and the names that come across the 2024 recipient for the Big Ten is from men's tennis. Coach, Ronnie was nominated. How do you pronounce Ronnie's last name?
Hitaranta.
I'll get it down. But Ronnie Hitaranta and Colin Hake from women's basketball were the two recipients of the Sportsmanship Award, Big Ten Sportsmanship Award. So well done, sir.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a testament of the guys on our team. They're really good kids. At the end of the day, that's what they are. They're kids grown into young men. And Ronnie was a phenomenal student athlete, just the epitome of what a student athlete should look like, in my opinion. 3.99 GPA, he had 4.0 every semester I was here with him. Studied, loved it. Was a part of the SAC program. He was part of the Christian Leaders program as well. He did everything. He loved being a student athlete here. Was an unbelievable competitor on the court. Fought for every single point. Played positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for us in his time here. Played doubles. A great locker room guy. Didn't eat anything bad ever. It was every time you looked at his plate, it was as clean as you can eat. So I don't know. I could sit here and talk for an hour, just one show about Ronnie.
That is pretty spectacular a thing to say. That one, it's at that degree. That you look at the plate and you know what a guy's consuming, and that you feel trust in that. Wait a minute, this guy is actually doing the right thing all the time.
Yep, all the time. And he just actually sent me a picture yesterday. He's back in Finland and he's having to do his military service now. So he's traded in a Husker uniform for a Finnish military uniform. So pretty badass kid, man. Honestly,
Fuck, isn't that spectacular? Like, I don't think we've ever heard that on air here. That's pretty cool.
Really cool.
Right? So, that is pretty cool. Okay, so, Coach, we're going to take you through the gauntlet.
All right, let's do it.
Right? From day one, August 29th, the Huskers in a neutral site game take on the Cincinnati Bearcats. What do you got?
The Huskers taking on the Cincinnati Bearcats?
Uh-huh.
That's a W. I was born in Cincinnati. Mom and dad got married in Cincinnati. My mom's family's all in Cincinnati, but Huskers all the way. That place is going to be rocking, and it's going to be red, and it's going to be a Husker invasion down there in Kansas City.
Week 2, September 6th, Akron comes to Lincoln. Huskers go in 1-0. They leave.
They're 2-0 against the state of Ohio.
2-0. Nebraska owns Ohio.
Owns Ohio, baby.
I love that so much. At 2-0, they welcome Houston Christian into Memorial Stadium. Sir, they leave.
3-0.
3-0. After Houston Christian, September 20th, the Wolverines of Michigan come into Lincoln. The Huskers go in 3-0. They leave.
4-0, baby. We don't lose to anything blue. Nothing blue.
Michigan, nothing blue.
No Michigan vibes around here.
Nothing blue. At 4-0, they welcome the Spartans of Michigan State into Lincoln. They leave.
We're 2-0 against the state of Ohio. We're going to be 2-0 against the state of Michigan.
Nebraska owns Ohio and owns Michigan. How about that? How you like them apples? October 11th, walking into the door 5-0 against the Maryland Terrapins in College Park.
Yeah, I think it's another win. Honestly,
6-0.
I think it's another win.
Write it down.
Matt,
6-0.
Coach Rule, I'm sorry, but I'm betting on you guys this year, baby.
An undefeated 6-0 Husker team goes to Minneapolis for a Friday night game against the Gophers.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of views this as a tricky game, but Coach Rule knows he's got the ship steering the right way. We're going 7-0.
The undefeated 7-0 Huskers welcome Northwestern to Memorial Stadium October 25th.
Yeah, I think this is what he talked about in that video. You know, playing against Ohio State last year, they felt great. Playing against UCLA, they felt the same position. They felt terrible. I think he's ironing out that segment. You got to play every game the same. Northwestern, we're taking down Northwestern 8-0.
8-0, November 1st. The Trojans of USC come to Memorial Stadium.
9-0.
9-0.
We're not losing anyone out there.
I have a sincere thought. November 8th, an undefeated Husker team will take full ownership of the state of California. The Huskers will face UCLA in Pasadena, sir.
We're 2-0 in Ohio. We're 2-0 in Michigan.
Let's go! Let's go!
We're going out to LA and we're sweeping the state out there too.
Listen, an undefeated Husker team travels to University Park and faces the Penn State Nittany Lions.
I'll think Penn State might be the best team in college football this year. So that'll be one right off there. We'll take a loss out in the. I think that might actually be a night game. From what I'm hearing.
That's the whisper.
That's a tough.
That's tough
environment.
space.
That's a tough game. So we'll take an L there, but no big deal. We're trucking along here.
And if you hold to that, November 28th, Black Friday, here in Lincoln, that one-loss Husker team is competing for a chance to play the Big Ten championship game against the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Unbelievable. And I think Matt referenced that too in his Big Ten media speech. And those boys are going to come out wild. And we're 10-1 going into that game. Memorial Stadium's going to be rocking. Lincoln's going to be jumping up, and you won't be able to find any parking anywhere in this town. It's going to be an unbelievable environment, and we're going to go 11-1 rolling into the Big Ten championship.
Let's go! You heard it. Coach Peter Kobelt, Husker Tennis, brother. Great hour as always.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. Bach and the Black Shirt will take you through to 3 o'clock here on the ticket. 11-1. Hey, book them tickets for the Big Ten Conference Championship game. How about that? How you like them back?
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports league.